criminals are not, the 42-year-old loser son living in his mother's basement playing video games, eating Cheeto crumbs in his beard, and like, oh, I'm going to do some cyber hacking on the side. It's like, no, these are, they're professionals. They've got, weekly team meetings. They've got daily KPIs they're focused on. They've got a marketing team. They've got a CFO on their team. A lot of them are funded by government agencies. It's an extremely profitable business models. And unlike us, they don't have to follow the rules, and it's like telemarketing. It's just a numbers game. Right? They know that they can put a bunch of the, laziest people that hate their jobs and just get them to sit there and dial all day, and they're going to get X amount of sales. They're going to take advantage of X amount of people. Here it's just, kind of the next level on the criminal side.
Yeah.
And they're not going away. It's not going to change. They're using all the latest, automation and tools and technologies that we're using to amplify our businesses. They're definitely going to, they're already doing it, and they're going to continue to leverage AI, right? So it's like, hey, I can have a spreadsheet, a whole list of companies and targets I'm attacking, and I can use AI to go and read their LinkedIn pages, find some relevant content, so I can send a custom email that's got a relevant point they just shared on their LinkedIn or blog article to open a conversation and build trust, right? And they can do that at scale. So I don't know what direction you want to go in, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, Tom, I'm interested, what's the typical way that cyber criminals are targeting businesses in America these days? What does that look like, and how do you know it's happening? And then how do you, I guess, prevent it? But what's a typical scenario?
So here's a stat. On average, it takes 268 days to identify that your company has been hacked.
Wow.
Okay.
268 days. So they've been roaming around inside your system for days and days and days, weeks, months.
Rewind 10 years back, when someone breached your email account, your biggest concern was, oh man, they're going to send out Viagra offers to everyone in my address book. Right? That was the threat, and it was kind of embarrassing, and that was it, right? Now they've learned, yeah, that's not the best approach. Once we get access, let's not make it known we're there. Let's do the data collection. Let's see what we can find, right? And let's take our time. Let's download all their files. Let's, we're in their email account, so let's look at Mark's sent folder. Let's do some keywords, because the wonderful indexing that we all depend on, to search our, 50,000 emails and get results instantly, is super, super helpful for cyber criminals. So they'll type in social security number, routing number, bank transfer, SSN, EIN, date of birth, password. Oh, wait, Mark, you look like a smart enough guy. You're not going to, if the few times you sent a password via email, you didn't do it by writing password. You put PW, right? And you were smart enough to send them in 2 separate emails, because you're like, oh, that'll get them. So, hey, Mary, here's my login for this password, and I'll send the password in a separate email, right? And then 15 seconds later, you sent another email with the password.
Right.
So they're going to type in PW. Boom, they're going to find any password you've ever submitted in there. Since they've got access to your email account, they can now go to your bank, to your Dropbox, to whatever they're trying to get into. And if they don't have that password, no big deal. They just hit reset password, and that's going to send an email to your email account. So now they can change your other logins, and they can get into different accounts. They're not telling you all this is happening. They're smart. They're not going to, they're going to make sure you don't see that email come into your inbox, right? So when they go to your bank and they say reset password, email goes to your inbox, they're on it. They're going to delete it immediately, and they're going to erase it from the trash, right? They can do all that stuff. So that's how they can, operate behind the scenes. I don't know how much you want me to keep going on, but that's one of the ways. So the biggest way is just getting into your accounts. There's billions of passwords that are accessible on the web right now. For the majority of people, you can give me their professional email address. I can use a tool that we use for our clients. We can find out what passwords are currently already on the web. Most likely, the 3 passwords you use for 90% of your logins, those are probably already on the dark web, and I can get into your accounts if I want.
Wow, that is crazy. What about holding people's data hostage.
Yeah.
That seems because you can literally bring a business to its knees, right? And
Mhm.
is that still really common right now?
Absolutely, yeah. Ransomware is extreme. It's rampant. Fortunately, with Global Mac IT, we just support Mac users. They haven't figured out the way to really use ransomware to encrypt Mac users' data. But on the Windows side, BobaGuard is for Mac and Windows, right? So it's
Hmm.
a threat that we protect against. But yeah, they get access. They install a tool. They can encrypt all your files, and the only way you can get access to them is by paying the fine. So here's the kicker: cybercriminals have figured out that insurance agencies will pay the ransom. So it's just, again, it's a numbers game. It's their business model. It's their revenue model. They know out of 100 companies, we encrypt and we say, hey, pay the ransom, 20,000, 50, 100,000, or you lose all your data. They know exactly what percentage of them are going to pay the ransom. That money is going to be sent to the insurance company. Insurance company is going to pay for it. So now insurance companies are starting to charge a lot more for premiums for cybersecurity insurance. Um, they've got a lot more exclusions. They're starting to demand a lot more requirements that the companies have. Like, hey, if you want to get a cybersecurity, if you want us to give you a cybersecurity policy, you need to have this, 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 and this in place. So yeah.
So, what would be your best advice, Tom, to a business owner of any size? Like, here's the bare minimum what you need to be doing right now to prevent cyber criminals from hitting your business.
So bare minimum, make sure you have two-factor authentication turned on for all of your accounts,
Hmm.
right? First one you need to do today is your Gmail or 365 account, right? Because again, someone gets access to your email account, they've got access to any other account that they want. But two-factor authentication is not the end all be all. There's some tools that can interrupt now. So if they're sending out a text message to your phone, those can be hijacked and then used.
Hmm.
So we use a password management program, whether it's one pay, one password or Dashlane. There's a number of different solutions. Passkeep, I think, is another one. But a lot of these tools will let you store the two-factor authentication in the app itself.
Hmm.
So it can't be hijacked, right? So two-factor authentication is one. My real answer though is that you need a comprehensive protection strategy because my one answer is the multi-layered approach, right? So if you think of the old heist movies, right, like Italian Job and Ocean's 11, those kind of movies, right? I always love
Hmm.
those. A random team comes together. They've each got their unique skill, and in order to get the jewels, they have to pass through, you know, 6, 7, 8 different unique layers of security before they can access the jewels and make off into the night.
Hmm.
So they can't just break through 2 or 3. They have to get through every single one. So the best way to really protect yourself is with a suite of tools, right? So you need to have antivirus and ransomware, protection. You need a security operations center that can kind of keep an eye on all your systems. And so if something starts happening, it can identify it and remediate it immediately, right? If some files start getting changed in your system, it's like, oh, that might be ransomware trying to lock up your files. That can be addressed and mitigated immediately with the right tools, right?
Wow.
Um, Monitoring the dark web. So, the way cyber criminals get paid when they have these big data breaches is, let's say they breach Netflix and they get, 15 million usernames and passwords. They haven't been paid yet. Usually they have to go to the dark web, which is kind of like the Amazon for cyber criminals, and they list them all for sale there. And they say, hey, we've got, 10 million usernames and passwords from Netflix. Who wants them? And other criminals come. They say, hey, I'll take 1 million of those. I'll take 200,000 from Chase. They're a little more expensive, but they have a good ROI, and they pick and choose and buy them. So on this dark web, it's just a marketplace. So dark web monitoring kind of connects to all these marketplaces, and anytime an email shows up with your company domain, it tells you about it right away. So it's kind of like if someone, if you found out criminals had a copy of the key to your house, how long would you wait to change locks,
Yeah.
right? Would you want to know? Of course, and you'd have the locksmith over right away. So there's a whole bunch of different tools. Cybersecurity training. You've got to make sure everyone on your team knows what to look for. What are the signs of a phishing email? They keep getting better. They're going to start getting more and more targeted. There's spear phishing where they pick out a specific person on the team. Let's say my executive assistant. on my team, and they're going to, focus on her and trying to get her to give up her credentials, because then she can intercept, emails and that kind of thing. So my
Wow.
one thing is a complex answer.
Yeah.
Bare
Well, that's
minimum, two-factor authentication. The real answer is multi-layered solution. You need a whole bunch of different tools, to help protect you. Because like you said, you don't, going through a data breach is a world of pain and stress. And it's horrible. You're forced to stop everything you're doing. I mean, your business goes on pause as you get data forensics people coming in to find out what happened, what did they access, having to send a letter out to every single contact in your database, your clients, your, JV partners, everybody in your database. You have to send the letter. Hey, we, had a data breach. So that, the cost, the reputational damage, the time, it sucks. So.